I also want to attempt to stream to YouTube Shorts while I'm exploring the lore. How do I see my chat on here again? I don't even remember. Go live. Probably this one. The colors look a lot better now. Okay, top chat, live chat. The only thing about the kind of, I think, most annoying thing about YouTube Studio is that it won't like stick to one game. I have to set the game every time. Okay. Put this here. Put this here. Put this over here. Just have to move everything to the right place. Okay. I'm going to go to Sarmog Champagne right now. I saw something really, really interesting on the map. And when I say the map, I mean like the map DAT. I was looking at the map DATs through through a program called Gnosis, and I wasn't able to look at them very closely or with much detail because I am not a game dev and I don't know how to use the program like at all. Why do I have like speed on? I have like fast motion. What is this from? I don't understand retail. There's so many things going on here. God, I love the music in Sarmog Champagne. This is a good place to explore right now because the music is just, it's, I don't know. It's just good. I think this is one of my favorite songs. So this castle wall, I feel like is very Sandorian, which makes sense because Sandoria had Sarmog Champagne for a while. They apparently built a gigantic castle here at some point. Okay, I'm trying to think of where on the map I saw the weird stuff I was looking at. It might be in that corner. I don't know if I've ever explored that corner. But like, all of these walls and like that fortress over there, these are just like very Sandorian looking. That might be something I explore later. Well, I'll probably end up exploring Sandorian architecture a lot more once I explore like orcs and orcish culture. Oh, I also was looking at a ton of concept art, which I feel like I'm going to include in a video at some point. I don't know if there's like a place where there's more concept art available. But There's a lot of stuff that they thought about when they were drawing this, and I feel like that's what's really cool about looking at concept art is you can really tell like what was important by what they had in the concept art and what they left out of the concept art. But a lot of there's like a lot of like notes in Japanese. I might try to like pay someone to translate some of this stuff. Although I don't know where I would get. I don't know where I could. Maybe there's translators on Fiverr or something. There's also a bunch of articles I would like to get translated from the Vanadil Tribune. I guess the first 17 of them never got translated into English. But when I was reading about it, people were saying that the writing was like really hard to understand. Can I get down there? From here? Maybe? Yeah, it was near all of these, like, holes in the ground. On the map dat, there it is. Oh, it is here. See, is this new? Or did I just never come over here when I was younger? I always thought it was so interesting that the cliffs have this, like, texture. But I don't remember if this was in era, because I didn't ever have a reason to come over here. Where? Who are you talking to? Myself. And also Twitch chat. I feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to come over to this area on, what's it called? On the Horizon server. Started to get scared? No, that's okay. Generally when you stream, you just want to talk. Even if there's nobody there. A lot of people kind of lurk, especially on Twitch. Not everyone wants to like actually chat. They just want to listen to somebody talk so that they have like, and I like as a viewer too, I put up streams a lot. Me lurking right now? Yeah, people lurk all the time. I do that to like help myself kind of be more productive. Like it's like body doubling for ADHD. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to come over here. I'm gonna have to come over here on Horizon because I don't remember this. I don't remember if the clips look like this. I'm the #1 lurker in this chat, just FYI. See? Yeah, people just like to lurk, I think. I have ADHD, but I'm in denial. Well, the only good can come from getting treated, or even if you don't want like treatment in form of medicine, seeing what other people with ADHD other people with ADHD, seeing what they do and how they take care of like stuff can help you too. People without ADHD don't understand if you don't talk out loud to yourself, you forget what you're doing. Actually though, yeah. Literally, I'm so mad that last night I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, I have like 5 hours of stream planned tomorrow. Like, I know everything I want to explore. I forgot all of it, except for that I remembered that part. I remembered that part of the map that looked super weird. Ritalin, stopped using that when Yeah, apparently also if you get treated with medication, and this is like honestly tragic, but if you get treated with like Ritalin or Adderall when you're young, apparently it helps your brain like wire itself more properly, and then you don't need it as much when you're older. But if they don't catch it until you're older, you're just screwed. Crocheting a scarf. Oh, nice. Well, thank you for the lyric. I appreciate it. See, that's the fun thing about having ADHD is you can just talk. You don't need to talk to anyone. You can just talk. Maybe you're right. I think that there's been studies on this. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look them up again. But I'm doing video game archaeology right now, so. Okay, all of the ruins here are definitely. These are all Sandorian ruins. Like, these are all Sandorian ruins. We know about this from the history of Sandoria and Windurst. They talk about, is it Lungo Nango? Hey, thank you for the follow on YouTube. Oh, how come I don't have those alerts? Hold on, I don't have those alerts on YouTube actually. Browser. Sorry, I'm new to streaming on YouTube, so there are definitely some things I have to smooth out. ADHD is hell for sure. The negative to taking Adderall is that 1 in 220 develop. No kidding! I didn't actually know that. This is Final Fantasy 11. What you're doing right now is playing a video game is very heroic. I don't think so, but I'm not even the hero of this video game. I'm literally an archaeologist. Like, I'm not even playing the game properly. I'm over here looking at these models that some dude made like for $20 an hour and never looked at again. No, they actually did put a lot of thought into this stuff. The architecture was something they paid very close attention to in this game. Here we stand in the ruins of a Sandorian fortress that existed, I believe, in the year like Crystal Era 400, maybe 300. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think that Lungo Nango, who was a mage of Windurst, came here and just wrecked the place. I could be mixing him up with some other people, though. Now we have evil spirits and stuff. See, the architecture of that one... No, this is still Sandorian. That's not a window, I don't think. That's where a cannon went through or something. Perhaps a meteor. One of the things I really wanted to explore was, in the history of the game, the first Star Sibyl, Rimilala, was said to have discovered magic. I don't believe her. I think she's lying. I do not believe that Rimilala discovered magic at all. But then actually, I'm glad that I went to talk to Velner about this, because either Velner or somebody in Velner's chat, when I was like talking about this, like full tinfoil, I was like, how did Rimilala discover magic if she had to get past the 3-mage gate and there was no mages? And then somebody pointed out that she probably went through the Torai-Marai Canal. But what I need to actually do is figure out the history of the Torai-Marai Canal. If the Taru provably built the Torai-Marai Canal, then I am full on the Taru Arkulu train. And I still think that might be the case. I'm actually starting to wonder, And here's another crackpot theory that I'm coming up with, because all of this I'm also trying to figure out who Ugalapi is, and Ugalapi is the goddess that the Tonberry worship. And they say that Altana, who's the goddess that most characters, like the so-called enlightened races, worship, the dawn goddess Altana, they say that she was jealous of Ugalapi and her beauty, so she like cast her out or something like that, and turned her into a hideous monster and like banished her to the Outlands. So that's why I have like two competing theories that I've been thinking about. The leader of the Yugudo tribe being Ziziku the Manifest, either being Ugalapi or being Phoenix. I think in the context of the story, it makes more sense that she would be Phoenix. I don't know about Ugalapi, because that was supposed to happen like 10,000 years ago, and the Yugudo have only existed as a tribe for like 400 years, according to the Voracious Resurgence. But I also don't really recognize the Voracious Resurgence as being like full canon. Like, to me, I'm like, I don't know. That was written 20 years after everything else, so I think that I'm taking that with a grain of salt. Let me actually use my warp ring. So Ugalapi, I'm kind of wondering if the goddess of all of the beastmen is actually Ugalapi. And what if Ugalapi is like the goddess of the earth and Altana is like more like of the heavens? This is a theory I've been coming up with. Because there's like, I really genuinely think in actuality, the writers just fucking forgot about Ugalapi existing at all after Chains of Promathia. like I think they thought of Ugalapi like in Rise of Zillart, and then they literally never thought about her ever again. Not even once. Because the Kulu worship... Oh, that was something I had to look into. Do the Kulu actually worship Altana? Because a lot of times they just refer to the goddess. And I've started to really wonder, like, when the characters refer to the goddess, are they all referring to the same goddess? Are we all talking about Altana? Maybe we just assume that we're talking about Altana. Maybe we assume that everyone's talking about Altana, but maybe people are talking about Ugalapi. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go look into Battalia Downs. Or no, let's look at Rolandberry Fields. Rulude, Upper Juno, Lower Juno. Yeah. Thank you for the follow on YouTube, Justine. I appreciate it. But yeah, my main questions that I want answers to lately are, who is Ugalapi? Where did she go? Whose is Ziziku manifesting? The more I think about it, the more I think I might be onto something, actually. If the Kulu worshipped Ugalapi originally, and they built all of their towers to Ugalapi, then the Yugudo actually would have the rightful claim to the Harutoto ruins if the Harutoto ruins are a holy place of Ugalapi, and Ziziku is Ugalapi. What was going on with the Tonberries 400 years ago? During the Voracious Resurgence, like, what were the Tonberries doing? What were the Kulu doing? Like, what? If you guys aren't familiar with like the story, the Tonberries are directly descended from the Kulu, and we know this because of Graviton. Ooh, I'm so curious now. Another piece of architecture that is distinctly Sandorian. I wonder, is there like, yeah, there are castle ruins here too. Did Sandoria just like have all of this? It's very possible. There are no cliff sides here, but I want to know if there's more of that like demon-y looking cliff. The demonic cliff. Like, I think it was Battalia Downs that I saw it. LDM Necropolis is somewhere that is definitely... I'm probably going to end up exploring everywhere at some point because everything is connected. Here we have an obvious piece of Zillart architecture. You can really tell from everything about it. I feel like Zillart architecture is very, very unmistakably Zillart. Oh yeah, that was a thing I saw. Something I saw in the concept art. There were 2 unused fortresses. One of them looked Zillart, but the other one was very strange. It was almost like Castle Ostroja or Ostroya, but it wasn't like actually. I don't know. It wasn't used, so it might be that they were never going to use it in the first place, but maybe it wasn't like a fully formed thought. This is why I need to get the translations of all the Japanese written on, like all the Japanese like notes that were written on these these pieces of concept art. I'm gonna have to look into translation services. I feel like the concept art probably has to, the concept art probably would be easy to translate. I think the Vanadil Tribune would probably be more difficult. I have to imagine there's a bunch of half-baked or incomplete content they had planned to do. Yeah, and I feel like that's true even in the game. Like, Ugalapi is not mentioned ever. Like, ever. She's almost never mentioned again after the rise of Zillart. What's up, Thompson? Yeah, we're talking about the goddess Ugalapi. Yeah, the railroad in the files. Wait, where was that? That was in Bastok, right? What's up, Wino Dino? How are you today? In Gustaberg? That's what I thought, yeah. But then they did actually use it in Final Fantasy XIV, the place that's very much like Gustaberg and Bastok, they did actually make a railroad. And I always wonder how much of Final Fantasy XI's concepts got implemented into Final Fantasy XIV, because if you look at old drawings of the Galka, some of them actually look like the first Sona cat boys in 14. I forget what they're called. The fursuits. Tarutaru equals Lalafell. Yes. We're a little bit, we're about 10 miles deeper into the lore than that, though. 14-year uses 11's assets all the time. Yeah. They were, absolutely. But that's not, I'm talking more about, like, the concepts that didn't get brought to 11, that did get brought to 14. And one of them, I think, was the first Sona Catboys. I can't remember what they were called. Jumping. There is no jumping in this game, sadly. I mean, you can literally, like, slash jump. You're right. That is a concept that was not put into this game, but was put into 14. It's crazy the first time I played, World of Warcraft, and I was like, oh my god, you can jump? Oh my god, you don't lose experience when you die? You can't de-level? Dude, imagine like 17-year-old me figuring out that you can't de-level in World of Warcraft, so I discovered the entire map of the game. That's so smart, Cade. Here we have grapes. These grapes were absolutely ripped and put into Final Fantasy XIV's new expansion. I saw them, like I saw a screenshot of them, and I was like, oh my god, those grapes are literally just ripped directly. Actually, they might even be lower poly in Final Fantasy XIV. But just the pyramid with the grape texture over it. Genuinely iconic. You know, there are some very interesting trees in the Rolandberry fields. These are not, this is definitely Bostocken architecture, I think. Never made the jump from 11 to 14. Oh, I always wanted to play Guild Wars. I feel like Guild Wars is the #1 game that I'm sad I missed out on, like at its peak. Square took all that money from me. Instead of making 11 better, they made 14 and asked for more. Yeah. No, I feel you. And you're not missing much. Like if you're a hardcore long-time Final Fantasy 11 player, Final Fantasy 14, and when I say this, sometimes people get in their feelings, but Final Fantasy 14 is a WoW clone. I don't mean that like in a derogatory way, but if you don't like World of Warcraft, you're not gonna like Final Fantasy 14 unless you really, really like the story. And in my opinion, the story is just very anime. I think Final Fantasy 14 is the game for Final Fantasy fans. Final Fantasy 11 is like its own thing. What's up, Alenix? How are you today? I watched one Transformers show when I was a kid. And it was the one with the mini Transformers that they could like attach to themselves. Edge of the envelope game tech. Yeah. See, what is this fruit here? Like, what is this that's growing? This is not a Roland berry. So Roland berries are strawberries. They're just strawberries, like 1-to-1 strawberries. But like, what the heck is this? Grows on a freaking tree? Is it like a Roland berry plum? It's a huge plum if that's the case. Goober nuts, best not to ask. Is that actually what they are? I don't think it is. I read like all of the Vanadil Tribunes the other night. And I think one of the more interesting articles in that was called A Bat's Eye View. And it was like, they intercepted orcish bats so that they could like see how the orcs viewed the world. And the way the orcs described the Gubu and the crawlers of Rolandberry Fields was pretty funny. The grubs obviously like keep pests away somehow. Oh, unripe grapes. Or are they just white grapes? See, we have Sandorian grapes, but then we also have something called Buburumu grapes, which apparently... Is it Buburumu grapes? Yeah. They look like grapes, but they're not grapes, apparently. I've been trying to figure out what the heck those are also. My guess is that they're cranberries, but Buburu is a very dry, arid place, so. They are plantoids? Yeah, but they use, like, the Gubu apparently brought the crawlers here themselves. Like, the Gubu took the crawlers out of crawlers' nests and put them on the plants. Here's a piece of something. This architecture here is interesting. This is not okay. I have to stay on task though. I have to concentrate. I'm gonna go to Battaglia Downs. I'm gonna look around at things there, and then I'm going back to Windurst and the surrounding areas because what I really want to know is about Ziziku. And I've taken lots of screenshots of other places, but I don't think I took enough screenshots of Ostroya and Gideus. Although Gideus was established like pretty recently. Also, I think Gideus was established in the last like 100 years. Let's go to Upper Juneau. We're gonna go check out Battaglia Downs. I feel like the areas surrounding Juneau are my favorite, some of my favorite areas in the game. They have such like good music, but also like really interesting concepts. Sarumog Champagne, I think, is like really pretty, and I like that there's like a bunch of ruins there, like a bunch of ruins of castles, and it's kind of like very desolate. That name on the person in Juneau we just teleported away from named Lissa, one of the gods in Guild Wars lore. Probably. I had my best friend growing up, her name was Alyssa, and we called her Liss all the time. I think Alyssa is a somewhat common name. Rolandberry, yeah, I love Rolandberry. That Rolandberry is like a Gubu farm. And then I also love Battaglia Downs and the LDM Necropolis. When I was like a little mall goth child, LDM Necropolis was like the coolest place I had ever heard of. I think I like this place the best out of all three because it kind of like reminds me of home. Back home where I grew up, it's always like kind of gray like this. And the colors are kind of similar where it's like very like gray and green. And then we have like a really, really old graveyard with a mausoleum that looks like the entrance to one of these places. And since I was a little mall goth, if I wasn't spending time at the mall, I was spending time at the graveyard. I feel like hanging out at a graveyard is like real goth and not mall goth though. I just don't like goth music, so I'm not a real goth. I just want to listen to My Chemical Romance, call it a day. See, these structures are really interesting because I don't know if are there other places where there are like tombstones like this? I mean, I would assume these are tombstones, right? But this doesn't look like a graveyard in any other area. Memorials mounted on top of the necropolis? Yeah, I want to know about them. I want to know. That made me think of a K-pop song. See, these Sandorian castles are everywhere. They were very much a force at some point. Till Winters took them out. Get wrecked. Windurst #1. This whole place is very much like a graveyard, though. Like it's not just one section of LDM. Well, maybe it's this first part. No, I think the whole LDM necropolis is pretty graveyardy. Maybe I'll look in the LDM past. Shadow Gamer 69. Wow. Good name. Wonder what the history. Then before Wings was released, I had a dream about an expansion where we got to go to the past and see it. The Wings of the Goddess is my favorite expansion. Keskian, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. How come that didn't make a noise? I don't know. Maybe my volume is too low. But yeah, Wings of the Goddess is my favorite expansion pack. I think I'm gonna play through the story and actually pay attention to it. Yeah, the king... the campaign music is, it's just so repetitive and it's always playing. The storyline is really long. But at least there's not, like, important things locked behind the story, I don't think. Is there? Ooh, what's this? See, another theory I have is relating to trees and the Kulu and the Taru Taru. I'm wondering if the Boyata tree was once a similar thing to Heaven's Tower. Heaven's Tower, I think 100% is built on top of one of those Kulu like towers. It has identical architecture, and looking at the concept art made me even more sure of this. Let me see. Dun, 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 dun. Campaign music. We are Vanadil. Okay. Let me find the concept art really quickly of Heaven's Tower so I can tell you guys, so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Heaven's Tower, in my mind, I'm 100% sure that that Heaven's Tower is the same as the Harutota ruins. Like, it's the same building. Hold on, let me I wish the music played when I'm clicked out. I need to download a Sheeta or window or something so that the music stays persistent. Okay. So here we have a bunch of Windurst concept art. And this is kind of what I'm saying. Like, I need to know what this says in Japanese. Like, I need to know. I need to get this translated. I think it'll be helpful to my research. But some things are very important. Like, look, they put details in here on purpose, right? To tell a story. And I'm trying to figure out what that story is. Like, look at this. This bend in the tree was obviously, like, super important, right? Like this bend right here. They even have, like, a little note about it. I don't know what that note says, but I would like to pay someone to help me figure it out. This is the inside of Heaven's Tower, and it looks like, looking at it like this looks just like Fei-Yin. This looks just like the part of Fei-Yin where there is an elevator. I feel like wouldn't it like, can't you just, like, see an elevator going up and down? Like, what if the fountain at the top was, like, repurposed by the Taru Taru and it, like, was one of the elevators that goes from the top to the bottom floor, like in Fei-Yin? And then if you look at this, I feel like it looks even more obviously just like the Harutota ruins in Suruta Baruta. I think that they tried to grow a tree or something using the magic in this ruin, like in the Harutoto ruins. And I think this was one of the ruins. All of the architecture, the materials to make the building, it's all the same. And I found a door yesterday. I get excited. I get so excited over finding new doors. This is a door that's inside of the Star Sibyl's room that I saw on the on using Gnosis, looking at the map dat of Heaven's Tower. This is one of the doors that is inside of the Star Sibyl's room. And this looks very much like all of the other doors that the Kulu made. Hold on, this is not Kulu, but like this is a Kulu door. This is a Kulu door. This is a Kulu gate. Another Kulu door. I feel like this door looks similar yet different. I don't think the Tarus made this door. If they did, I think maybe they painted over it or something. I don't know. I need to find more examples of this architecture though. I need to look at more architecture. Clearly the game designers spent a long time designing these doors, and I'm probably the first person to pay this much attention to them. But I'm even like at the point where I'm like, I wonder if the doors like tell a story of some sort. And this is Ostroya, or this is Windurst Past architecture. Sir, why not? Thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. Anyway, let me take off my tinfoil hat for a second and go back to doing archaeology. No, they didn't. They didn't. What does a 3-mage door look like? That's a great fucking question. That is such a good question. Let me show you. Let me show you. I'll show you what the 3-mage gate looks like. And this is why I think the Tarutaru did not discover magic. I don't believe Rimi Lala. Okay. I was doing a lot of research into quicksand caves the other day, so I just have a lot of photos about that. Okay, so this is in Turai Marai Canal, which the Kulu almost certainly built. They did not copy and paste it because this is actually, I wrote it is exact, but it's actually not exact. It is very slightly different from a gate into Ugalapi. Here's the 3-mage gate. The gate itself looks like this. The gate itself is Kulu. I have no doubt in my mind the Tarutaru did not make this gate. And if the Tarutaru did make this gate, then the Tarutaru are the Kulu. Because I think you can trace a pretty clear line from the Kulu architecture to what is supposedly the Tarutaru architecture. However, the Tarutaru do say that they did not make the ruins themselves. They say that the ruins existed long before they did. And so we know the Kulu made the ruins. We know that. Like, they definitely did. Because the Kulu made the Temple of Ugalapi, and the Kulu also made the Feiyin. The Kulu made Feiyin. Like, we know that that's like explicitly stated in the story. And I think if the Kulu made Feiyin, it's really not a huge inference to be like, the Kulu also made the Harutoto ruins. Now, that being said, the Kulu still exist at, sorry, not Feiyin. I'm saying Feiyin. I mean Soja. They didn't make Feiyin. Feiyin is Zillart. But Soja still has the Kulu inside because the Kulu are the Tonberries. So the Tonberries still exist in both the Temple of Ugalapi and in Soja. So why did they leave the Harutoto ruins? Did they leave the Harutoto ruins? Maybe they're still there because maybe they are the Tarutaru. And if they're not, what if all beastmen worship the goddess Ugalapi, and that means that if the Temple of Ugalapi was built for Ugalapi, then so was Soja and Harutoto Ruins, most likely. And if that's so, then the Yugudo do have the rightful claim to the Harutoto Ruins, and we should give it back to them. This is the argument I'm making. The Yugudo, we just need to go back to the Shadow Reign era, okay? The proud to compensate for inferiority complex Taru would claim to have invented magic. I actually think they didn't. Like, well, they provably didn't, but they are credited with the discovery of magic, which is crazy. Because magic obviously existed long before them. Because the ruins existed long before them. They even admit that. So, yeah. These are my tinfoil hat theories. Now, this is a very interesting tree, in my opinion. And this treant is also interesting. What's above here? Yeah, okay. Like Al Gore inventing the internet? Literally. Are there treants in other places? See, I think these stones are very interesting, and this tree that's like kind of like twisting up out is very interesting. I think I'm gonna go to the past. Tarutaru may not have invented magic, but it is possible that Tarutaru found a way to simplify the magic itself and make it more accessible. But that's not what they are claiming. They claim to have invented magic. According to the lore of Final Fantasy XI, the first Star Sibyl, Rimi Lala, is said to have discovered magic after she was exploring the Harutoto ruins and came upon the Full Moon Fountain. Now, the Full Moon Fountain is the home of Fenrir, and Fenrir was also tamed. Fenrir is the protector of the Tarutaru, so the Tarutaru claim. However, they do admit that they fettered him. Fenrir is under the control of the Tarutaru, and Rimi Lala, who supposedly discovered magic, is the person who captured him. Now, during the time of Rimi Lala, she captured him with something called Gleipnir, and then she separated it into like 3 parts and spread it amongst the Tarutaru's allies at the time. And their allies were the Pixies. They put some in the Harutoto ruins somewhere, I think. But also they gave a piece to the Yugudo for some reason. They claimed to have discovered it, I think. I actually don't remember the exact wording. I have to look it up again. Tarutaru are baby devils? I mean, yes. One thing I've noticed in replaying Horizon is how much different vegetation. Exactly! They put a lot of thought. That's the thing, is that I don't like the story. I don't like the storyline. I don't care about the storyline. Like, I don't care about the individual characters. Whoever built this world in the first place, the team that built the world in the first place, put so much thought into where they put everything and the history of the land that they were inventing. But I don't know if they really discovered it. Because how did Rimi Lala discover magic and then she was powerful enough? How did she both discover magic, claim that she's the first person to know to ever discover magic? How did she discover it and then also capture Fenrir and put Fenrir under the Tarutaru control? And I don't believe that Fenrir naturally wants to protect the Tarutaru as they claim. And the reason for this is because of a conversation between Ziziku and Fenrir during the Wings of the Goddess. So actually, I feel like I need to play through Wings of the Goddess. 11 is the Elden Ring of MMOs. I don't know, I've never played Elden Ring, but there's definitely a lot of like world building. And I feel like, I don't know, I I wish more games, I wish more things in general would just put thought into like every single thing they do. Obviously, when you're trying to make money, that's not cost effective. But my favorite show of all time, Western or anime, is Madoka Magica. And that's because they put thought into almost every single frame of that show. Like, the framing of scenes is so important in that show. Like, it's not important, but it is thought out. They thought about how they were framing things. They thought about the things in the foreground and the background of the scene, not just the characters themselves. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't like Elden Ring. I already know that I wouldn't. Because, like, first of all, Souls community. But, oh, what's in that, like, corner over there? I don't really like interacting with this. Oh, no. Oh, can I get back up there? The Souls community is kind of, yeah. And then, I don't really like what I would consider Middle-earth fanfiction. And I feel like most Dark Souls games are that. And it's also, like, Elden Ring in particular is very, like, dark and, like, not very colorful. Like, I really like fantasy. I love high fantasy when the world is built and they're not just relying on Middle Earth. Do you know what I mean? I never read Berserk. That one was a bit gory for me. Is that the anime where little girls got chopped up? No. I mean, it's about little girls and there's a lot of violence in it, but it's not like they're not like getting gorily chopped up. Like, I don't know if you're referencing a different like gore anime or something like that. Somebody gets beheaded, but like it's not graphic. But even that is something they foreshadow in the episode beforehand with this is my favorite thing about Madoka, is that in episode 2 they foreshadow the ending of episode 3 by having the girl who's talking with them, she's like drinking something and they're like sitting at a table, but the way the shot is framed is that you just see her from the neck down and the reflection of her head is on her lap. That is something that I feel like that is like a thing I feel like is not in a lot of shows or anime or anything like that these days. Like, they don't think about anything that much that they're going to make a scene like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the framing of that scene was foreshadowing the next episode, but like a lot of most media does not have that level of thought put into it. The corruption is vague darkness and evil. Middle Earth is much tamer. Yeah, I would say, like, when I look at like Dark Souls and stuff, it's just like, it reminds me of like Middle Earth, but like also just with horror elements. Oh, I need to be going south. I'm going the complete wrong way. My bad. It's just not really my vibe. I like colors in my games, and it just seems very like grim. I'm kind of over grim dark stuff. Like, I loved Madoka when it came out. Would I watch a Madoka-like show nowadays? Probably not. I'm just kind of meh. Post-apocalypse medieval? Yeah. I feel like the kind of fantasy that I like is like, I like Final Fantasy XI, but there are parts of it that I would consider Middle-earth fanfiction, like everything to do with the elves. But I find that there are things that are interesting enough that I didn't care, and I just didn't ever interact with the... Middle-earth is like very vanilla for fantasy. Yes, but it is used as the basis of a lot of this fantasy, a lot of high fantasy these days. Like, for example, the most famous and most perfect example of Middle-earth fanfiction is Game of Thrones. Like, that is the most Middle-earth fanfiction of all time. Disconnect in either your view of Middle-earth or Dark Souls? I mean, it's just when I look at it, it looks boring to me. Like, it just looks like I'm gonna be fighting some like whites in like a dark, vaguely medieval setting. That's how I feel when I look at Dark Souls type of games. The Kulu race discovered magic, however, the magical explosion turned them into the Tonberry. That's what they say. See, Magic Lalafell, you are falling into the trap of believing NPCs. George R.R. even admitted he wanted to make a Lord of the Rings that was more realistic. Yeah. That's like the most obvious example because he's very blatant about it. But I feel like a lot of Western fantasy is just this. Sorry, you can't post links in my chat, so that got censored. But yeah, thank you for your contributions. The I don't know, Dark Souls and stuff. I'm glad people enjoy it. It's just not my jam, personally. I want to go up to this, like, place over here. That's where I've been trying to run while I've been, like, yapping. So maybe it would make more sense if I can tell you the fantasy that I do like. I love C-dramas, and I think that's just because of the fantasy being so different, so insanely different from the average Western fantasy. Like, if you watch something like it has its own tropes, don't get me wrong. It has its own tropes, but I just find it to be more colorful and like more pleasant to look at. Knights and zombies in the beginning, every boss, this is a monster that's been here that would never fly in Middle Earth. There was definitely undead in Middle Earth. What was that place called? Did you read the books or did you just watch the movies? Out of curiosity. There was a lot of horror creatures in Middle Earth. But I feel like you're talking very literally. And I'm talking more of like a vibes and overall themes. Like, I'm not saying Dark Souls could take place in Middle Earth. I'm not saying that Dark Souls could take place in Middle Earth. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. That's not an argument that I'm making, personally. I wasn't... That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Yeah, there was also the, what was it called? Barrows Downs? Like, I actually think that this area is a reference to the place in... Was it The Hobbit, or was it the first Lord of the Rings book where they fucking stumble onto Bombadil? Barrow Downs, yeah, that's exactly... Yeah, with the Grave Whites. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about, Vic. Like, there was definitely, like, a lot of that kind of stuff in Lord of the Rings. It's just like it didn't not all of it made it to the movies. Yeah, it did. The hobbits get magic knives used to kill the Witch King. Yeah. That's right. That's right. It's been a really long time since I read it, but Lazy Jacob, I'm not saying that Elden Ring isn't like more hardcore. I'm just saying that Western fantasy as a whole has a lot of similarities and like similar vibes in terms of the world they have built that you don't always find in every fantasy, but you definitely find in Western fantasy, like Dark Souls, like Elden Ring, like games like that. You think Middle Earth is darker than it is? I think you don't understand what I'm saying at all, actually. What's up, Kazcappy? Thank you so much.
Hello, Casey. I hope you got some sleep yesterday and are having a wonderful day today, Slagolm.
I am. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the 13-month streak. Most of our fantasy is inspired by... Yeah, exactly. I feel like I feel like you don't understand what I'm saying, Lazy Jacob. And I'm not sure how to explain the disconnect, because I feel like you're arguing with points that I never made. Like, I'm not saying that Elden Ring is literally set in Middle-earth. I'm saying it's heavily inspired by it because most Western fantasy is. And it's not a bad thing. JRR was a hopeful person. Yeah, and just because something is inspired by certain elements of something else doesn't mean that it's not inspired by it just because it didn't take every element. Okay, here's the disconnect. What you're referring to as themes of fantasy, I'm saying is themes of Western fantasy that was set up by Lord of the Rings. And these fantasy themes are not worldwide, and they're not all fantasy, but Western fantasy very lazily relies on them. Sekiro, yeah. And if you watch a show like Love Between Fairy and Devil, this is a high fantasy C-drama, Chinese drama based in Chinese mythology. And there's like a ton of Chinese mythology and Chinese, it's very, very high fantasy, but it's based in Chinese mythology and not Middle-earth, so there's no orcs, there's no elves, there's no nothing like that. It's very different. Like the world that is being built is very, very different. I'm saying from a world building perspective, oftentimes Western fantasy relies on Western audiences' knowledge of Middle-earth archetypes and leans into it very heavily. Even this game does that. Like this place is called Battalia Downs, and I do think that this is a direct reference to the Barrows Downs, right? It even says Kovef Barrows here. Like, I think that this place is a direct reference to that. Sorry, I have to refresh this. It keeps doing it. I think that you just aren't considering what I think to be themes as what I think to be themes. Like, it doesn't have to be orcs or elves. It can just be the general area that they are in. But, you know what? I've never played Dark Souls, so maybe you're right. I don't really want to keep arguing about this because I think it's like... it just doesn't look interesting to me. It just doesn't look interesting to me personally. There's nothing about it that calls to me that I think I would want to play, but... Guild Wars 2? I played Guild Wars 2, actually. And even this game has elves. Like, this game has elves too. Like, Middle-earth fanfic is not necessarily like a deal breaker for me because most fantasy does rely heavily on themes like that, but there are things that are different enough in here that made it interesting for me. When I played Guild Wars 2, I would say that that one had a lot more sci-fi. Like, because you have they're called the Asura, right? The Asura? They have their whole own thing. And then the plant people are very different too. Yeah, I would say Guild Wars 2 has a pretty unique world, actually. World of Warcraft, less so if you play on Alliance. Yeah, I did play Guild Wars too, so I'm a little bit knowledgeable about it. It was when it came out, so it was like quite a long time ago, but... less mysticism. Giants, dragons, necromancers, elder magic, fallen gods. Yeah, Dark Souls is nothing... I've never played Dark Souls, so I'm not gonna sit here and make arguments about it. It just doesn't look very appealing to me personally, but I do prefer fantasy worlds that don't rely very hard on it. No, that's what I'm saying, Lazy Jacob. They don't. They don't, actually. Not all of them do. Some of them do, but they have generally different themes and different monsters and different gods and stuff. Like I'm trying to think in the examples that I'm giving you, like a love between fairy and devil. There is a dragon, I guess, but he's like a dragon spirit. He's not like, I guess he is like a literal dragon, but he's not. He's like a person, and he's also a Western. He's not a Western dragon, like he's a Eastern dragon. And then like everything else is like not. There's no giants. I guess there's magic, but they don't really refer to magic in the same way. Yeah. What's up, Zagel? I'll leave this to you, Vic, because I've never played Dark Souls. I just, like, it looks Middle-earthy to me. That's why, and it looks like grimdark Middle-earth, and I'm just, I'm over it. I like colors. I like colors in my games. I would say the Horde of World of Warcraft is definitely not Middle-earthy, but the Alliance, like, definitely is. And I think that's why I hate the Alliance so much. Dark Souls is Western in the same way a ninja game made in the West is. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, I'm gonna go to this building on top of this hill, and then I'm going to go explore. I'm gonna go back to Windurst. Man, why is my chat on YouTube keeps like blinking, which is so weird. I feel like another example of just Western stuff that I don't like because it all just references each other too much is like, it's all like too similar, is like space shows. Like, and I'm not saying that these things don't have their own unique like points, but overall the vibes, it's very, very similar. You look at an anime like Outlaw Star, and they were really unique with it. They were like, hey, we're gonna fly around in outer space. And also Taoism, for some reason, is here. And all of our spaceships are painted pretty colors, and we're not shooting lasers at each other. Actually, we are, but we also have tiny little arms for which to punch each other with on our spaceships. I just don't. It's not a Far Cry at all. I feel like I'm having the same conversation that I have with like Final Fantasy XIV players when they try to tell me that Final Fantasy XIV is not a WoW clone. I'm like, it's not literally identical to WoW, but it is literally a WoW clone. Like, that doesn't mean that it is just World of Warcraft copy and pasted, but it does mean that most of the game mechanics are heavily inspired by that game. And the people who argue with me are the people who've just never played any other MMOs besides Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy XIV, or World of Warcraft. As far as it's not Skyrim, I feel like Skyrim is just Elden Ring in a different font. That might just make you even more... Skyrim is easier, right? But like, and it's like a different game, but it's still very just medieval fantasy in my mind. Oh, I was going to here. The most Western of all the games FromSoft has ever made. The only FromSoft game I've really played is Armored Core. And that was pretty fun. I liked Armored Core. I think because it actually had colors in it. Other than like gray and dismal. Okay, we're out of here. We're getting out of here, boys. How do you like 14? I want to play some time ago, but the F up early on drove me away. So, do you like World of Warcraft? Do you like Guild Wars 2? If you said yes to either of those questions, you might like Final Fantasy 14. If you liked Final Fantasies 1 through 10, then you might like Final Fantasy 14. If you want to play 14 because you like Final Fantasy 11, you might not like Final Fantasy 14. Oh, I'm stupid. I wanted to go to the past. Okay, let's go to Sarimog Champagne Past. Is Sarimog? Yeah, it is. Current region. This man's naked. I could say Dark Souls and Lord of the Rings were alike if they both took place during a turning of age, a sort of demigod clinging to power with the effort to cling to power that makes everything worse. Wait a minute. What's up, Rain? It's me, Ugalapi. How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I didn't know you were the goddess Ugalapi. That's awesome. Hell yeah. If they make me change my name, what if I change... No, that name's probably already taken. Sorry, you guys are about to get hit with ads. Okay, so for once and for all, now that I have the goddess Ugalapi in my chat, can you confirm or deny that the Yugudo are your chosen tribe of people? Because I'm a big Ziziku fan, and I think she's manifesting you. Personally. Now my thing is blinking on here. That's so weird. Where's the maw? Oh, it's all the way over there, man. Can I even enter this cavernous maw? Is that even a cavernous maw? Yeah, Sarimog Champagne exists in Shadowrain era. Sorry, I have ADHD and the menus are... If we can enter a cavernous maw at some point in our lives. God, this is like the #1 reason to play on retail, you guys, by the way. This is the #1 reason to play on retail. This little song, this little crawler mount. Yeah, in the original game, Rain, you could only ride Chocobo. You could only rent Chocobo, actually. Cummins? I don't understand. But yeah, this little caterpillar, you can't ride one of these bad boys back in the day. Not on era servers. Not yet. But yeah, this game is like 20 years old, so you can play on like the current day retail servers, or you can play on like classic private servers. It's like WoW Classic. Oops. Yeah, that's actually why I'm exploring the lore. Well, I was kind of exploring the lore a little bit, so that, like, I could talk about the Shadow Lord, but there's actually, like, not much deeper to the Shadow Lord other than what's being said in the game. And the Shadow Lord is probably going to be the first boss. It looks like... I don't know if any other 11 players saw these pictures, but it actually looked like it's going to be Dynamis. I kind of wonder if there's going to be some Diabolos stuff. Oh! My brain did not go... Okay, I knew that that's like a name, but I know what a caterpillar is. That's really cool. I didn't know you make those parts for your job. Oh, shoot. I need to get up there. Oh, did I go the wrong... This would be very Final Fantasy XI core if I can't get up. I'm pretty sure I can't get up over here somewhere. Oh, thank God. Oh no, it's still... God damn it, I fucked up. The zones are so annoying. Say caterpillar without moving your lips. Caterpillar. Oh, well, you can't because of the P. Caterpillar. Caterpillar. You have to, like, say caterpillar or something. Caterpillar. Can't believe I'd say caterpillar? Caterpillar? Was I tricked into saying or doing something inappropriate? I'm very gullible, so... I trust chat with my life. Having your lips basically closed. But you have to make the P sound through, like... Caterpillar. 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 See? You can't do it. Impossible. I'm very far from the moist bogs where I belong, chat. Did I go the wrong way? How do I get up there? Don't tell me I have to, like, go through Crawler's Nest. No, I would hate that. The trick is getting people to try. Dude, the follow bots, like the buy followers now bots are like crazy lately. I don't care enough about this to go through Crawler's Nest to get there. I'm not doing all that. Nope. Back to Windhurst. Back to Windhurst. We're not doing that. Fuck. I think I recall Marifatoad. I could not get into the Yakuto stronghold though. But I could maybe get into here. Maybe it's a ventriloquist thing. Fufuruni. Fufuruni. No, you can't do it. P's are hard to learn. Yeah, how do they do it? I'm like trying to think of how you could do. I like linguistics, so it's an interesting conundrum to me. Look at this. Yagudo architecture. Fine Yagudo architecture. I think we should let the Shadow Lord reign once more. I think he was doing a good job with the place. I think we should let him finish. Another fine piece of Yagudo architecture we have here. Look at that bad boy. Ooh. Wait, do I have a picture of that? Oh, I think I might have a picture of that, but like... See, the Yakuto are very known for having that like squiggly on their door. Must add to my document. I have like a whole entire document of like pictures of architecture I've been taking. I haven't seen this one yet. Hell yeah. We got new architecture, boys. We have new architecture. They don't make them like this anymore. They don't, because we... Okay, so what I just did in this game is I went 20 years into the past. There's a expansion called The Wings of the Goddess where you can go 20 years into the past to like this great war that we're having between the Beastmen. Yes, I am on retail right now, Shrimp Chips. I'm on Bahamut. It's just way easier to travel and investigate things on retail. I do have actually... Hugin's been helping me a lot with this project, and he set up a private server instance for just me to investigate on later. That I can so that I can explore with dev and GM powers. Where do you find the concept art of the building with a spiral staircase? Oh, it's on the 20-year... Here, let me link it. It's called We Are Vanadil, and it was the 20-year celebration. And it has a large collection of concept art. It's really interesting to look at. I had a lot of fun looking at it. This is why my sleep has been so fucked up lately, is because I'm like so fucking obsessed with this. I'm legitimately just so obsessed with all of this that it's a problem. Oh, but yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Right now I went 20 years into the past, and the Yagudo army is at its height of power, and we sort of, like... We didn't entirely decimate them during the war, but we definitely messed them up a bit. Good old Yagudo Sentinel. I also downloaded Altana viewers so that I could like look at the different armor, and I thought it was actually super interesting. Oh, look at the cute little pink bows on his. They're not actually, but they look like it. I thought it was super interesting that the Beastman armor has qualities of Shadow Lord, like, and demon armor and architecture. My Taru is on the private server. Okay, okay, so KCC is on... If I'm playing on KCC, then I'm most likely playing on Horizon. And if I'm playing on Bogman, then I'm playing on Bahamut. I think for my private server, my actual private server that's private to only me and Hugin, I might make another third character so that if I decide to do some silly, like, in-character... BS, I can be like, written by Bogman, or discovered by Bogman, discovered by KCC, discovered by my third character that I haven't made yet. Maybe I'll make a Mithra. Bogman, take me by the hand, take me to the land that you understand. I love Ocean Man so much. That song should be 10 minutes long. I'm mad every day that it's not. Look at these trees. There's different trees, like... The Yagudo are right. The Taru are draining the land of its magic. And you can tell by just the change of plant life that exists between the 20 years. Even the plants in Saruta Baruta look healthier 20 years ago. Yeah, it was here. Ooh. A fine piece of Yagudo architecture we have here. Look at that. Look at this Yagudo thingy. I need to take a good picture of that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I love her. Basically, the reason I'm taking pictures of all the architecture is so that I can compare the architecture and make wild connections. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on later, and that's when I'm going to make silly arguments. Ooh, we have control of this? Wow. Ooh, what's that? What's that? That's different. The front of it. See, okay. I want to know the significance of these symbols. Like this right here. Uh-oh. Are we about to dun 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 dun? I think we're about to hear some campaign music. We're about to be attacked, I think. The front of this looks different. Okay, let's take a picture. But this is definitely like Yagudo built. Very interesting. Basically downloaded all the parentheticals I do not have time to say with every sentence. I knew the Taru were evil. They are evil. They are evil. No, Vic, I feel that like sometimes when I'm like... When I'm especially actually discussing the lore of this game, because at some point, and that point is a very, very, very fast point after you start actually like looking into the lore, people just have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And then it's like, all right, now I have to explain to you who the Kulu even are, because you were skipping cutscenes. And I get it, because I too was skipping cutscenes. Bonus tangential rant no one has time for, but is happening in my head anyway. That's why you stream. You just start talking. You just start talking. And you just don't stop talking. Okay. Here's the thing, I know. Look at these cactuses don't exist. Theory. Okay. I think the Yagudo, I think that the Taru are draining the land of magic to keep control of Fenrir. And they're like running out. 39 cents a day, you could save the life of a Kulu. For 39 cents a day, you too could help us provide the Kulu of the Temple of Ugalapi with fresh Taru sacrifices every day. What's up, Daras? How are you today? Okay, look at these cactuses. These cactuses do not exist in the future. Oh, these aren't destroyed yet. Hello, Sprite. I really like their wings. I know, I love this mount so much. It's so cute. It is a good cause. It is a good cause. We together we can keep the Tonberries fed. Look, the forts are not destroyed yet. This is very Sandorian though. Like this is Sandorian architecture if I ever saw it. Tonberries are my favorite. Yes, Tonberries are great. In this game, the Tonberry are like okay, so 10,000 years ago, there was the Kulu and the Zillart. Shenanigans happened. I won't explain it because that was like 3 entire expansion packs. Just trust me, bro. trust me, bro. On this, the Kulu and the Zillart, they happened. The Kulu became the Tonberry. Yeah, source, trust me, bro. That's actually one of the most fun things about, like, I feel like one of the more fun things about exploring things in this game is that I'm kind of exploring it as a lore, like as a story atheist. Like, I'm exploring it as if I'm like an average Joe person in the game and I never met the Zillart with my own, I never saw Zillart with my own eyes. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. There's not really Magitech or Garleans. There's no Garleans, first of all. It's a completely different universe than Final Fantasy XIV. There's basically no overlap in that way until they add it, probably soon. But, is there Magitech in this game, you guys? I feel like there kind of isn't. Like, when I look at other Final Fantasy games, I feel like they're a lot more sci-fi than this game. I don't think that this game has like a little of that magic and like Magitech sci-fi stuff, but it's not called Magitech. It's almost like this was before Magitech became like a real thing. SpongeBob started in 1999, the same year as The Matrix. That's not that surprising to me. I'm surprised. I thought it was like when I was in middle school, though. I guess it's a bit earlier. So these are the walls surrounding nothing. What's going on in there? What's going on back there? I want to know. See, this is why I need Hugin's help, so that I can simply phase through this wall. Or if I can figure out how to use the Gnosis program properly. I want to know what's on the other side of this gate, because why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding it? What's back there? Wait, so where's the remnants of the big castle? If these are not the remnants of the big castle that Sandoria built a very long time ago, where is that? Is that like up on that plateau? SpongeBob can legally drive? If only he could pass his license tests. SpongeBob can legally drink. Oh, I don't like that. I guess this game can too. This game came out in 2002. Wow, SpongeBob can rent a car. See, there's another gate. But there was supposedly the ruins of a giant castle. Was there not? I definitely read that somewhere. But where's the ruins of the ancient castle? Because it wasn't Garlage. It wasn't Garlage Citadel. Nice location. Getting vibes of a 14 location. Which one? I played Final Fantasy 14, so... I think that there are definitely areas that are inspired by 11 areas in 14, but I'm not sure which one this would be. We're in a place called Sarumog Champagne. Magitech is something only recently made in 14. Like the person who developed the technology made Magitech possible still alive. Was it like Sid? But the thing about Magitech is it's in like every Final Fantasy game, I'm pretty sure. And Sid exists in this game, unfortunately. If you've ever seen Sid in this game laugh, you would wish that he didn't. All the Allegan stuff is not Magitech. It's really only 6 of them. Yeah, but do they call it Magitech? Like, I don't know if they ever use the word Magitech in this game. Like, magical technology is, like, actively being developed, I feel like. Garlean technology is called Magitech. Thank you. Yeah. We're discussing Final Fantasy XI. I've played 14. I'm aware of the stuff in that game. But I'm pretty sure that in this game, they don't refer to anything as Magitech. Like, I can't think of Magitech being a thing. It is the same principles, yes. But in other Final Fantasy games, they do explicitly refer to magical technology as Magitech, don't they? I've played 14 and 11. I haven't really played other ones that much. Like, I played a little bit of 12, and I watched my cousin play through 10, but I didn't know what was going on in 10, like, at all. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that Magitech was like a Final Fantasy staple, but I guess it's not. Mostly the newer ones? Oh, okay. In 14, Magitech was invented by some 50 years. Right. It started in Final Fantasy VI. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember Sid being like Garlean or whatever. I remember like vaguely stuff about that, but the Final Fantasy XIV story never really gripped me very much. See, that castle's cool. Well, there was... I wonder if that's something they forgot about. Like, is that a... Did I just find some, like, writer thing that they messed up? No. The ruins exist everywhere, though. They exist in all of these past areas. You know what? This is not relevant to the Yagudo, so... I need to... I'm so easily sidetracked, you guys. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Back to Murphatoad. Yeah, I would say Final Fantasy has like a pretty... I feel like Final Fantasy as a series has like a pretty distinct sci-fi lean, right? Like 14 does for sure. I don't really feel like 11 has sci-fi in it that much though. But other Final Fantasy games that I've like seen seem to have quite a bit of sci-fi involved. Oh, apparently Sid's father invented Magitech. Ah, I see. I didn't know that much about 14 lore. I know like the general story of 14. 14 definitely has a lot of wacky dimension hopping and stuff though. I mean, this game has it too, but like, I ignore it. Okay, where have I not really explored here? I don't know if I've gone north, and I don't know if I've gone into that little bit down there. Okay, I have to go back up, actually. I don't believe there's a Zeta Shadow Rain. I don't know if much was going on in Zeta back then. Back now. I say then, but I am there. So now? Nowadays? Nowadays, S? Shadow Rain? I think that the present day should be Shadow Rain. I don't know about you guys. I think that the Shadow Rain... I think the Shadow Lord... I like him. I like him as a leader. I think he should be the leader. I think we should go back into the Shadow Rain era. Make Final Fantasy XI Shadow Rain again. 15 has Magitech? Magitech is usually something the bad guys have. What about 7? I never played 7, but I've dated... Dating nerd boys means that I have learned about 7 because I think 1 in 5 nerd boys is a Final Fantasy 7 nerd boy, so... All the Shadow Rain... Oh, yeah! So, when you go to the past, it's referred to as the Shadow Rain era because the Shadow Lord is, like, ruling. He has united all of the... He's united all of the Beastmen. 7 is a fanfic of 6. Well, I never played 6 either, so... Oh, I'm stuck. War Lynxes. I do know that the Yagudo have like bred these lynxes. Lots of shadows. So he's basically like he's like a demon. What is your shirt? Party Rock Jim from from the LMFAO smash hit video. I'm sexy and I know it. Yes, I was in college in 2010, okay? Looks like they're not gonna let me go into Zeta. I didn't think they would, because Zeta, it doesn't exist right now, but... See... The Yagudo... The way the Yagudo build things... It's like they make things out of brick and then they plaster over it. Which could be derivative of the Kulu. That's really funny. I'll be completely honest though, Vic, I have not played either of those games, so I probably won't understand it. But I mean, if it works, just do it, I guess. What I don't understand is like, you know, I might have been tempted to play Final Fantasy VII, the remake, if they had not split it into 3 parts. Like, why did they do that? Like, I'm pretty sure the original game was on 2 discs, like, back in the day. But, like, come on, we have the technology to not do all that. That was unnecessary. Kefka and Sephiroth have nearly identical stories. Oh, that's interesting. Soldier experimented on by evil empire by injecting living magic. They turn evil to try to destroy the world. Oh. See, that's something I don't like in stories either. I don't like the evil empire that just exists and is evil. Like, I think that's so boring. I feel like in Final Fantasy XI, we are the evil empire. That's why it's more interesting. We are the evil empire. We've made it to Castle Ostroya. This is the Yagudo stronghold. I have already taken many pictures of it, but I just wanted to stop by and say hello because I love them. Star Wars is cringe because of that? Yeah, like, I hate it when the evil guy is evil just to be evil. But I also hate it if they make the evil guy, like... I also really don't like it if they make the evil guy, like, too sympathetic. No, we haven't figured out who Ugalapi is yet. I'm still admiring the Yagudo architecture of Castle Ostroya. I have found some connections though. I think that Ziziku might be the Phoenix. Any good discoveries? Okay, so the discoveries I've made since last time I've streamed and today a little bit. I found another door in the Star Sibyl's room that looks pretty cool, but like a little bit different still. What were other things I found? I took a bunch of pictures today. Oh yeah, we found some more interesting examples of this. Yagudo architecture. I have come up with a theory that I've come up with a theory that maybe the Beastmen worship Ugalapi, like all of them. I need to figure out if the Kulu ever worshipped, if they always worshipped like Ugalapi, or if they just got like confused. Because the Yagudo drop music like the goddess's hymnus and stuff like that. And while we could say they just have that because they stole it off of some adventure, like I don't believe that. I think that most bard music probably comes from the Yagudo, because the Yagudo are known for their great culture of singing. They love singing. Ziziku was named their leader because of her beautiful voice. So that makes me think, like, what if the goddess's hymnus is actually about a different goddess, and we just think that they're talking about Altana whenever they say goddess, but they refer to us as Altana's children? Where did we get Ugalapi? The Temple of Ugalapi. So the Temple of Ugalapi is the Tonberry, and the Tonberry do explicitly worship Ugalapi. And according to Tonberry legend, Altana like cast Ugalapi out of heaven because she was like jealous of her beauty. And the actual story, the legend is that Altana turned Ugalapi into a hideous creature and sent her to the Outlands, which makes even more sense if she's a Yagudo. What if Ugalapi and all of the Beastmen are actually worshippers of Ugalapi? Oh, I remember this place. This is where we did PvP on... Maybe it's not, but I feel like I remember doing PvP over here at some point. Or maybe that was up at the other point. What is this place? This is a very interesting... crater. Oh, what's this? I think this is probably going to bring me to Fort Karugo Narugo. Yeah, because the other entrance goes into, what's it called? The other entrance goes to Tarangi Canyon, which you can't access in this time. Kilgrave and Jessica Jones hit the sweet spot of empathetic, understandable, but irredeemably evil. Yeah, like, I feel like if you can understand a villain, that's cool, but, like, I don't want him to be so convincing, or I'm gonna take his side. Like, the... like, I don't know if you guys ever played Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but I picked, the girls... I picked the girls' path first. I was like, oh, I like this girl. And then, like, the whole time I was playing, I was like, oh, she's right. And then I just didn't want to play anyone else's storyline because I didn't care, because I was like, nah, she's right. She's correct. I feel like I was supposed to have played her last so that, like, then I could, like, understand, like, a sympathetic villain or something, but I, like, accidentally played her first, and I'm like, no, I actually think she's just correct. Is that a logging point? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm gonna go, think I've seen what I needed to see here. Tenant. Oh, that guy. I know who he is only because of Tumblr, being obsessed with Doctor Who. What's up, fellow Spark? How are you today? I always stumble on your name. I think it's because it's like 3 words instead of just 1. It's like my brain sees 3 words and doesn't know what to do. Yeah. I also really like it when the hero is not... I think I prefer protagonist versus antagonist type of stories more than I like hero versus villain types of stories, you know? Like, I don't like it to just be like, I'm good because good. Like, something that really made me mad in Dawn Trail was like, fucking cat girl being good at making tacos and winning the taco making contest, which, first of all, that whole entire thing was stupid. Second of all, of course she wins because good people are good at everything. Don't insult Naruto with that. That's an insult to Naruto. The characters of Naruto are likable. Sorry, I'm like an actual Dawn Trail hater. This is why, even though I'm like friends with bigger like Final Fantasy 14 streamers, like I could never. I will never be an official Square Enix girly because like I'm way too critical of their bad writing. She's not the one who makes the tacos? See, I don't even remember because I was so disinterested. And then, like, of course, the Catman is her father. Like, oh my god, everything about... I won't get started on that. I hate it so much. Kryl and the Warrior of Light Dew. I just hate it when the good guy wins everything because the good guy is good and the bad guy is bad. Do you know what I mean? That's what that felt like to me. Just, no, I won't get into 14 because I'll just complain about it for like an hour. I hate the story of 14. A lot of losing in that. See, but that makes the story a lot more interesting. In my mind. Bad guy has a point, but bad methods, so we defeat bad guy and return to status quo. Let's forget the problem existed. Yeah. That was something that bothered me about Korra. Legend of Korra. I don't know if you guys watched Avatar Legend of Korra, but the thing that always made me mad about that was that in the very first season, like, the non-benders have a point. They're being oppressed by society, and you guys just beat up their hero, and now everything just, like, everything goes back to normal, or the benders just have a higher place in society? Mako is being the problem? I don't remember that part, but yeah, there were a lot of things about Korra I didn't like. It sucks because it's like, it could have been a good show, and then it just wasn't, because a lot of it had to do with Nickelodeon hamstringing it. Like, all of her relationship with the boys, like, was because Nickelodeon wouldn't let them make her a lesbian until, like, the very last episode. Oh, yeah, okay. Example of the personification of archetype in that he's just the most entitled white man with no morality, which isn't a far stretch, but does a lovely job of showing how horrifying something simple can be. His boss says that she would have done worse. Yeah, that's stupid. I don't know. Korra... Korra. The character Korra... Like, I actually don't really remember that plot line because I hated anything to do with her, like, romance, because it was so... It was just really bad. But yeah, she is a terrible partner. But they didn't... They wanted her to be, they wanted her to be a lesbian, so, like, her entire relationship with everyone else was, like, Nickelodeon's doing. What's up, Onesh? How are you today? Okay, look at these weird trees. I want to see if the trees look the same in the past. Oh wait, I can just cast a spell on myself. I forgot. Oh, I have no MP. Okay. Which is in the entire inciting incident of the season? Yeah. It's... The whole thing. I have big problems with Korra. Lots of big problems with Korra. Also, the entire, like, dude who could fly, like the airbender with the breath bending, that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. What game is this? It's Final Fantasy XI. Yeah, well, see, Korra was only supposed to be one season. I feel like if they had ended it at the first season, it would be a better show than yeah. How will they have drama if they... Yeah, it was the very last scene. Because Nickelodeon wouldn't let them show her be a lesbian until the very, very last episode. Because it was in, like, 2011 that this was being published, and that was still very, very controversial for a kids' network. Yeah. But the thing that made me the most angry in that entire show was... Yeah, this is Final Fantasy XI. The thing that makes me the most mad about that show was the stupid airbender breath bending thing. He was like, oh, you have to let go of all earthly ties and then you can fly. First of all, flying in that universe is just stupid anyway. But, oh, you have to let go of all earthly connections. Oh, you didn't have any? We forgot to write one? Well, let's just invent this, like, girlfriend for this one episode and then have her head crushed by the cop woman. Also, Toph's kids becoming cops. What the fuck was that? Toph becoming a cop? What the fuck was that? Everything about... Never mind. Everyone's bad at writing. I'm gonna write Electroslag's perfect MMO and everyone's gonna be like, damn. This is what good writing is. I think I have... Is it called Recall? Oh, I think I need a scroll of Recall. It's probably black magic, actually. Aang flies on a ball of air. This is kind of a stupid lore point. Does he outright fly the end battle? Yeah, in the Avatar state, but that's not really the same. And this guy was not the Avatar. This guy was just an airbender. God, I hated that dude. And it wasn't even... Okay, it wasn't even that he was just flying. It was... the fact that he had to let go of all earthly connections, and he had no earthly connections up until that point where they decided they were going to make it a plot point that he had to let go of his earthly connections. And suddenly he has a girlfriend. Just to make her head explode. She was invented to explode her head. Like, literally that character was... That was the most brutal scene of Avatar, like, hands down, I think. Like, in any Avatar show. They show her head, like, she gets her head crushed with metal. They kill that lady. She's dead. Like, she's very dead. And, like, it was so stupid because she didn't exist until, like, that episode. I hate fridging. I hate when a character exists. I hate when there's a female character who only exists to get killed to further the plot. That is like my #1 thing that I hate in a show. Yeah, but like their whole romance thing was not a thing. Like that was not a thing. Until like they decided to kill her. Like her entire, I don't even think she was a named character. Was she? She might have had a name. They like freed her from a jail. It was just stupid. It was just dumb. Thing that goes from fridging to dumpstering. Yeah, no, it was. She existed solely to give that one guy the earthly connection that he had to let go of so that he could fly. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. Korra was so dumb. Like it could have been so good and it just wasn't. I liked the bloodbending too. The bloodbending was handled really well. The breathbending and stuff like kinda wasn't. I mean, there are things I think they did do well. Like Korra definitely had some like trauma like over it, and I think that was portrayed like well, but like the earthly connections thing, that was the absolute worst, most annoying point of Korra in my opinion. That was what really killed it for me. I gotta watch it again. Well, we're talking about Korra, not Avatar, but yeah, I think Avatar is like a masterpiece. Like, I really don't have any complaints about Avatar. Avatar is one of the best written cartoons, like, ever, in my opinion. Peely? She exists for, like, 2 episodes. Avatar, Korra, flying guy. I don't even remember his name. Zahir. Yeah, love interest. Peely. She exists. How many episodes is she in? She dies like instantly. I was so mad. I miss the days when these wikis would tell you how many episodes that they were in. Was she in 9 whole episodes? That's surprising. I think 1 is a flashback. It might be. Anyway, back to the architecture. The main point is that she was fridged. Any Katara Zuko shippers in chat? No, I loved Zuko though. I did not ship them. I didn't really ship anyone with anyone in that show, I don't think. I really liked, I was an Azula enjoyer. I loved Azula, and I just loved the firebending girls. Because I thought they were the most interesting. Peffa, thank you for the follow. I don't know why this is blinking. It's aggravating. It's driving me crazy. What is your most favorite and least favorite anime trope? Like anime specific trope? I feel like not every trope is specific to anime, but there are ones that are a lot more common in anime. Because my least favorite trope of all time is fridging, period. And that happens in anime and Western media. But as far as anime tropes, I feel like I really don't like the perverted character, like the grape head character in My Hero and like Master Roshi in DBZ. I do not like the pervert character. It just feels to me like the author's creepy self-insert where they can hit on their high school girl characters that they made up. Like it's just so slimy. I hate the grape head dude. Because if you think about characters, if you think about characters as like things that people wrote and not like actual people, because they don't actually exist, but if you think of a character as like, if you think of a character as like some dude made that character up, then the Grapehead character in My Hero Academia becomes a lot more creepy. Yeah, the Momo's outfit becomes a lot weirder when you think about how a dude, like a grown-ass man, drew that, and a team of grown-ass men approved it. And I feel like a lot of people don't think about fiction in that way. Like, they don't think about like who wrote it and why they made certain choices. And as I was talking, I couldn't help but notice this fantastic bit of Taru architecture and magic. This might be some proof that the Three Mage Gate is made by the Tarus. Sorry, I'm adding this to my document. My architecture document. Yeah, it was named after like a Marvel, or not Marvel, DC comic thing. My favorite trope? Found family tropes in anime and not anime. That's like my favorite trope probably overall, but it is very common in anime. Like what's the name of that one? Gintama. That's one of my favorite anime of all time. I loved Gintama. Gintama is a really, really good anime. I mean, I wish they would reanimate it because it's so fucking... Alright. Gintama is so hard for me to describe to other people if you didn't experience it like as it was happening. Gintama, the comic, excellent. Love it. But Gintama the show takes some arcs from the comic and makes them so much funnier. I don't know how to describe the humor of the animators, like, is actually so in line with the comic that there are several arcs that are better, way funnier when they're animated. Like the Love Chorus arc was so fucking funny in the anime. They made it so much better in the anime. But that being said, the anime is a very low budget anime from the 2000s, so they have entire episodes where they ran out of budget, and it's literally like a still shot of the house and the characters talking inside of the house. Like, actually, as an animator, you might appreciate it because what they did with their really low budget is they made it into comedy sometimes. Like, they have a whole episode where they just completely ran out of budget, so they made up an episode that's like a Death Note parody where they're like fighting over stuff in a hot pot, and so it's a lot of the characters just sitting there not moving at all and like staring at each other and like thinking. It's really, really funny. Sometimes they did really well. Other times it's kind of disappointing, like when they ran out of budget during a cool sword fight or something like that. But I do love Gintama. Gintama is my favorite anime and my favorite comic of all time. Keep meaning to watch or read that? Yeah. How do they reach the top shelf to place the magic orb? The plot thickens. Well, I assume they use magic. I love the music in the past. The music is so fucking good in this game. Lycopodium! Yeah. They're so cute. They follow you around. Okay, sorry. So we're going to explore some of the... I kind of want to look at some of the plant life too, because I have a theory that magicite is basically like toxic nuclear waste, and that like over time the plants like mutate more and more the more stuff they drain. Because look how much more lush. I feel like Saruta Baruta in the past is just a lot more like lush and green, and like the plants look healthier. There's more plants, they're healthier. This tree is so much like taller. But yeah, Gintama is one of my favorites of all time. If you grew up reading Shonen Jump comics, or like you've watched a lot of like Shonen Jump anime, it's, people call it The Simpsons. People call it like The Simpsons of anime because it makes a lot of references to other Shonen Jump shows. Truth that gets under my skin is my family best friend wife was killed by X. Now I know everything about it. Oh, no! That's not what I meant to do. Oh my god. I'm so dumb. Anyway. I was trying to get on my mount. What was I saying? I don't even remember. Magicite accelerated climate change? I think that the Magicite, well, we know the Magicite has weird mutating effects because of the Tonberries. The Tonberries were mutated by the Magicite. I wonder, there's no Soja past, right? Actually, I've had an idea. Let's see. Not conquest. We need to look at campaign. Does Bodacine Glacier? We have the Faragandi front. We have Battalia Downs. We do have Bodacine Glacier. But I don't believe you can enter the ruins. I kind of wonder... So here's something that I need to explain about Tonberry. The Tonberry at the Temple of Ugalapi, we can probably safely say we're the original Tonberry. So how did the Tonberry migrate all the way up to Bosadine Glacier? If the Tarutaru, or there are other mutant versions, if there's other mutant varieties of the Kulu, then that means that in Bodacine Glacier, they wouldn't have turned into Tonberries. So I'm kind of wondering, did the Shadow Lord reward the Tonberries for their influence by giving them the Soja ruins back? That's my theory. This is my theory. Because we know that the Tonberry actually worked for... Okay, so in this conflict, the Tonberry are supposedly neutral. However, they do work for the Shadow Lord. They work for the Shadow Lord, and they often carry out assassinations. So what if Soja was given back to them because of that? I think I might need to go to Bosadine Glacier. Cause why else? I forgot Garlage Citadel existed. Crawler's Nest. Beto. Actually, it's apparently Beto. I looked it up. Alright. We're going to Bosadine Glacier. Shadow Rain era. And that's when I think that I need to stop looking at the game for now and start looking at some of the other things I've been researching, like in the Vanadil Tribune and stuff. I need to start making connections. I need to start doing some Pepe Sylvia. I need like a... Actually, that would be really fun if I had like a whiteboard behind me and I was like making these connections. That would be awesome. I wonder how much whiteboards or like those like cork boards go for these days. Can I go to a different nation? Like, can I get to... No. So where's the closest? It might be, thank you for the follow, the E Lapo. I appreciate it. Okay, it's probably the one near Sandoria that's the closest. Battalia Downs. Is that how I get into Bosidine Glacier? East Ronfair. Sarkabard. How do you normally get to Bosidine Glacier? Can I get to Bosidine Glacier? Bosidine Glacier S. How do I enter? Battalia Downs. Okay, I do have to go through Battalia Downs. Okay, we're off. Now the real question is, do I have this? This teleport. If I don't, I might have to do some like shenanigans with going through the maw in Battalia Downs. Ooh, I do have it. Just kidding. I do not have it. Okay. And I can't use the warp ring for 3 minutes. Well. And I can't even cast any spells. By the time I get enough mana to cast another spell, my thing will... Hey, what's that blue orb up there? Oh, maybe that lets me know that the gate is open. Well, I don't know about all beastmen, but maybe the Taru. I have 2 competing theories. But I kind of like the conspiracy theory that the Taru are also Kulu. Because I think it's funnier. But... I think that, it's possible. And I mean, the Kulu were also Zillart. Like, the Kulu were just different Zillart. I feel like it would make sense if everything was descended from, like, the same starting point. If we know that beastmen... At least we know that the Tonberries were also descended from the Zillart. And there's no proof that any of the enlightened races were descended from the Zillart. So I kind of wonder if, like, I almost wonder if certain races are descended from the Zillart and certain races are descended from the Kulu. But, like, it doesn't matter if they're an enlightened race or, like, a beastman race. Like, they could still be... Like, I think the groups there might be some beastmen or anything. I don't think Hugin's actually... Okay, so Hugin has been helping me with the actual, like, virtual side of it, but I don't know how much of the lore he's, like, personally theorized about. I think he's just along for the ride. He gave me the keys to the car, essentially. He's been helping me by, like, ripping dialogue and stuff and setting up a server for me to mess around on. You're indie and he's shortstop. Baseball? I'm sorry, Zap. I don't watch movies or sports, so I don't know if this is a reference. Oh, Indiana Jones. I've actually never watched Indiana Jones. Like, I know of it, and I know the general plot just because it's so pop culture, but I don't know. Also, I'm an idiot. I was standing right next to the crystal, and I was like, oh no, my warp ring is on cooldown. I can warp to that crystal from this crystal. I'm a dumbass. We have to go to Battaglia Downs, so. But yeah, people have been talking about Indiana Jones a lot when I'm playing this. While I'm researching. Oh my god, we should have known. Look at that. That looks very... That's Zillart. Look at that. That is so Zillart. How did we not know? After I go explore Bosidine Glacier a little bit, I think I might pull up some of the articles I've been looking at, because something that I've been doing off stream, which has been really, really fun, is reading the Vanadil Tribune and exploring the Final Fantasy XI like official website. A kid that somehow started working with Indiana Jones, he has a line that goes, "Okay, you got it, Dr. Jones," and this little kid saves the day like 10 times. That's great. That sounds like such a 80s movie thing. Like, make a movie for kids, make sure there's like a little kid in the movie for the kids to like project themselves onto. Okay, we have to go up to there. Oh! He's riding a Zomet. A Xomet, or whatever. That's what these things are called, right? They're like the weird sea things that are like Xomet. This one's like very veiny. I don't like how it looks. Did I never look at it that close before? Why did he have so many veins? I don't like that. I just noticed that all of the trees are kind of like bent in a certain direction here. Away from the Sea of Shumeo. That's right, these trees are crystallized. Why were these trees crystallized again? And look, we have like the like demon crystal over here. Is this where the explosion happened? No, because it was the big explosion that took out Oh, it is. It is. It is. Yeah. Okay. Me figuring out things that were stated explicitly in the lore again. This is where the explosion happened. This is where the explosion happened. When the Zilart tried to make the gate to heaven. Because this is Qufim Island. This is where Delkfoot Tower is. This is where the, like, Ru, Aun, and all of that. So that's why this is all crystallized. Because this was a magicite explosion. They were using a... Were they using a dark crystal? What are the 5, like, mother crystals that exist in this world? Because aren't there 5? But there should be, like, 6 or 8, right? I don't know. I don't trust Altana. I don't trust her. I think that we trust the gods way too much in Final Fantasy XI. Short round? Shortstop? Short round? I don't know. I've never seen Indiana Jones. Okay. Here we have the Cavernous Maw. What is this? Please don't spawn an NM. Nothing happens. Okay, cool. Clicking things in this game is sometimes dangerous. We have entered the Cavernous Maw. Campaign music, man. See, this big tree is still here and it's still like very twisted, but like the trees are way more alive in the past. How is it that the trees got more dead? Also, are the cliffs walled off here? Like they were in... They are. I need to get past those cliffs. I need to get past the walls so that I can look at the cliffs. See, this is what the server that Hugin set up for me is good for. Can I like... Trying to like shoot my camera through the I used to be, when I was a little kid, one of my favorite activities in MMOs was to find holes in the map and like fall through them. And I know of several, some of which still work and some of which don't, but like, you know, there was like the famous one where you could fall off the airship. There was another one where like you could there is another one where you could, like, go into Winder's waters. Like, the waters. This is my mount. You have summonable mounts in retail these days. Yes, he's mine. He's my pet. My pet crawler. He's so cute. I love him. Okay, these trees are still crystallized over here. Slag Deanna Jones is gonna get to the bottom of the 11 archaeological mystery. I am. And probably with about the same accuracy as like a regular archaeologist would, looking at looking at ancient ruins that nobody's thought about in thousands of years. See, but we do have concept art, so I just need to get... I need to, like, pay someone or something. Like, I don't know if there's, like, a Fiverr or something, like, translation service. I need someone to translate the notes that are, like, scribbled on a lot of these. Whoa. Is this in the future? Is this gonna aggro me? No. You find nothing out of the ordinary? You couldn't even write some dialogue? This is Zill art for sure. So when I do my research on the Zill art, I'll have to come back here. I love the map marking is my favorite thing about this game. Zill art fuckery. Is that Jugner Forest? I don't want to go to Jugner Forest. I need to find the entrance to... I need to find the entrance to, Bosidine. Looks like there's a battle going on over there. Gonna have to get a pair of all-weather khakis and a leather hat! Isn't there, like, a cool woman archaeologist, though? Like, what was that lady's name? Interesting door! Fellas, we found a door. I'll have to come back. I'll have to come back here. Oh yeah, Lara Croft! I'm essentially playing Tomb Raider. But wasn't the Jurassic Park lady... She was an archaeologist, wasn't she? Oh, that goes to Jugner. We're not trying to go to Jugner right now. That's an exploration for a later time. Right now, we're only concerned with Kulu. See, the trees have so many more leaves on them, and I'm like... Is it because the land was healthier back then? Or is it because Wings of the Goddess came out 5 years after the base game, and they just had the resources to draw leaves on the trees? That's paleobotanist. Oh. Okay, well, I guess I am looking at the plants, but like not that hard. Look, another door. God, I love doors. Look at this door. Now this is a Sandorian door. But it's metal. Wait, no, yeah, because Sandoria's main export, I believe, is iron. Sandoria, surprisingly, is like really, really good with the metalworking. Like with iron specifically. A-tier door. It's a pretty good door. It's a pretty good door. It's not relevant to what I'm looking for right now, but I will come back for that door. I'll be back for that door. Just not right now. Probably when I'm researching orcs. Because like the Taru and the Yagudo, the orcs and the Sandorians are like intrinsically linked. I wonder if they're gonna let me in to... They actually might not let me into Bosidine yet. I might have to do literal plot quest. I might have to pay attention to the story. Sick. Look at this tree. We have found an interesting tree. Does this tree exist in the future? Like, it's very mutated. It's not targetable. You're an unofficial, unsanctioned research endeavor. They have to let you in. It's for a project, right? Like, please, I know that I'm very actually, I'm very over-equipped, but I might not have the authorization of the Sandorian nation, but, like, my name is the Bogman, so if you could just, like, let me through anyway, that would be so cool. That's another thing. Battalia Downs is a place that has a lot of interesting features. So it's definitely one that I think I'm gonna have to look into. Look at these gins. These are so cool looking. Also, what's up, Yerpty? How are you today? Bogman is the one to bring down the whole 11 political system. It's true, because why are we oppressing the Beastmen? They're right. The Beastmen are right! I'm just a Beastman sympathizer. Just got back from the vet. Well, it's hopefully good news. Or just a checkup or something. Here we go. Alright. We have some exploring. And I spent a long time exploring Soja yesterday. Or not yesterday, the last time I was live. Now here, this is demon architecture. This is like very, very demonic in nature. Look at it. But the demon architecture, honestly, is super reminiscent of... Let me in. Demon architecture is super reminiscent of those cliff sides. Like the crystallized cliff sides. This is something I will have to explore in more detail later. Because the demon architecture is definitely like its own thing. Very, very unique. And here we have a Soja ruin. I don't believe I can enter it, though. Thank you for the follow, Deluxe93. I appreciate it. A door! I'm pogging. I wasn't expecting this. Alright. This is awesome. Look at that. Look at that. This is great. Taking a screenshot. Even though Soja Pass does not actually... See, this was worthwhile. This was worthwhile. This is a new door. It's a new door, chat. It's a new door. It's very similar to another door I've seen. Is it? But was that other door also in Soja? It probably was. But, like, what if it wasn't? Where was the other door that looks like this? Sorry, I'm looking through my door file. My file o' doors. The top of it is different than any door that we've seen thus far. Okay, this is definitely a Soja door. However, it's a bit different. Okay, because, like, look. Hear me out, chat. This door is in Soja somewhere, right? But look at there's a difference. I have to make it small so you guys can see. You can see how it looks different. Let me put it like next to this. Ooh, I'm excited. All right, you can see the differences here, right? On this door over here, there's two lines, and also this, like, thing is not on the original door, on the other door that we've seen. And this door, like, kind of comes out. And the first one that we found, it comes out onto this part. And the top of it is completely different. The top of this one has a crystal. And we know that little window on the top there sometimes lights up and corresponds to a certain color of bracelet that you can have. And then that will like let you into the door. This is so interesting. Okay, I have to add this. This is being added to the file. I have to add, okay, this is Soja, but let me put Soja also. Okay, Soja or Bosidine Glacier. Soja, Bosidine S. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful door. Gorgeous. I love it. Incredible door. I'm on Bahamut. Yeah. Oh, Velner was... I think I've been inspiring Velner. Because I've been hanging out in Velner's chat because... Okay, so I'm usually a private server player. I came back to retail because it's just way easier. First of all, everything's in retail, right? And it's just way easier to travel. So for my archaeological digs, I've been playing this on Bahamut. And it's been really, really fun. So I went to... I've been hanging out in Velner's chat because I know there's a lot of, like, long-time retail players there to kind of, like, bounce ideas off of. It has nice details? Yeah! This is so interesting. Okay. Now we have to go to the other. We have to go to the other ones. Do the other ones have similar doors? Do they have different colored crystals? These are all really important. Really important details. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of these ruins. But I keep wondering... I wonder if I can find... ruins of like a 7th and 8th, because I have a theory that that Heaven's Tower is also one of these ruins. Yeah, exploring the lore is really fun. I've been having a good time because of the level of detail that the people who made these worlds like included. And like the hints that they left, especially regarding like the Kulu. See, this is all demon architecture, and demon architecture is very cool, but it's not the purpose of my exploration today. See, we have more dark crystals and stuff. Further making me wonder if the demons have anything to do with that demonic, with that explosion. Like, I guess it's not identical, but Pog. Who's that? We have a dragon in the sky. What's up, Demogrb? Yeah. I have. It's pretty fun. They have like the different color stars and stuff too. Pog! Okay. Same door, same color crystal, same sconces. I think this is identical to the other door. Let me pull it up. What's up, Lemaitre? 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 Lemaitre. French, right? Can I have your autograph? Sure. How do I... Yeah, this is identical. Same texture and everything. Crystal is the same. Nothing to see here. We're still gonna go look at all of the other ruins anyway. But it is interesting that in the present day, they have ripped the doors off and replaced them with iron grates. Hey, mounts and MMOs on principle, but seeing the way Bogman is seated on that crawler is making me consider my position. I actually... I actually agree with you, TBH. I love Horizon and I love In-Era. I love walking everywhere because it makes me feel like I'm part of the world. I don't like how fast you can warp around in this, but as an archaeologist, it's very convenient and it's very nice. Like, doing all of this, like, if I had to walk to each and every one of these, I would not look at all of them. Can I get up? Oh, it's over there. Norwegian indie electronic duo hailing from Oslo. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's literally them. I only know one Norwegian band, which is Kaiser's Orchestra, but I really love them. Kaiser's Orchestra is lit. Googled it. A+ forever. I hate mounts and MMOs. Oh yeah, I read that. I like listening to like a lot of indie music too. I try to give people a listen when I can. I have to be like in the right mood. I don't know about you guys, but like I have to be in the right mood to listen to new music a lot of the time. And if I'm not, then I might not like it. So I have like playlists that I'll save up for like the perfect day when I'm like, okay, today's the day that I listen to a new song. Giga's Pelter. See, these are so interesting. These like little demony, these little demonic structures. I wonder if the demons build them or if they just shoot out of the ground like where the demons exist. Everyone's armor is so cool in the past, too. Bro only has 3 toes, though. What a weirdo. Wait, did I? That's the one I just looked into. Okay. We're going north more. Elk-horned caterpillar worm as a mount? Maybe. This is a monster in the game. A crawler. The crawlers generally look like this. Sometimes they look a little different. But it might be based on a real worm. I actually don't know. We are looking at the door. We are viewing the door. It is the same door. It's probably the same door. Okay, I've visited 6 of the towers. It's probably the same door everywhere. How come these towers are so much closer together? And what if there was... We're going up. We're going up. We're going south, and then we're going up. What's up, RR? How are you today? Also, David Davidson, how are you guys? How's everyone? We found new doors. New doors. We found new doors here, and we also... Now I want to know why they ripped the doors off. Glad to be home. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that, but at least it's over. At least the day is over. Oh, I have to go south more. And then there's, you know what? As I'm going up, I might as well hit all of these towers on the way. I also kind of like, okay, I feel like weird plants grow around the ruins, so I should keep an eye out for that. Every so often my like, what's it called, starts blinking. My like YouTube chat starts blinking. I don't know if I should like end that and start it over again. Do you like anime? I'm like retired from liking anime. I used to like anime a lot. I don't really have the patience for it these days. It's just so, it's so tropey. And I think it always was, but like I'm just too old for it now, I think. Like the tropes, I just can't like look past them. Okay, same door, as I suspected. That means we've like ripped the doors off of all of these. Favorite anime? Probably Madoka, but if we're talking about more like anime, like Gintama. I don't know what I mean by anime, but like a long series would be Gintama. Hajime no Ippo. That's like a boxing one, right? What's up, Banana? Yeah, this is Final Fantasy XI. I'm doing archaeological research. I'm not playing the game properly. I'm examining like doors in the past. I'm huffing a lot of copium and I want so badly for there to be a secret 7th tower somewhere. Even though I know that that's like definitely not gonna happen. How many players? Maybe like 10,000 worldwide across all servers. Very, very few, considering the way the game works and how people play it. On the retail servers, it's hard to actually get an accurate number because if I do see all on Bahamut, this is one of the more popular servers. It says there's 1,000 people online right now, but you have to understand in this game, on the retail servers, people are often running multi-box setups, so they have like multiple characters that they're all playing at the same time, like up to an entire alliance worth, like probably. I don't know what the realistic maximum amount is, but okay. I think I'm about as high as I can get. Except for over there. There's just one more tower I can look into, but I don't see any like weird ruins up there that I can't like get to. And in theory, if there was a seventh Soja tower, it would be up there. But I don't see any evidence of one. I guess it would, that's like really close. It would actually be like more like over there, but no, that's a pipe dream. All right, we're gonna go to the other tower while we're up here anyway. Oh, I have to go, yeah. I have to go south here. Yes. You play 4. Small MMO communities are the best. I agree. But you have to have enough people, I think. Well, if you play on depending on if you play on a private server or the retail servers, there are some retail servers where there's only like 300 people online. There are some retail servers where there's like 4,000 people. And then on private servers, it also ranges. Like the biggest, most popular private server I also play on is called Horizon 11, and it's generally like around 2,000 concurrent players. There are a lot smaller ones out there though that you can play where there's only like there's only like 100 or less people playing. Under 0 is a good start, or greater than 0 is a good starting point. Well, the game has been out for 20 years. So it's getting a lot closer to the ending point than the starting point. I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter. I couldn't get into it. I tried when I was younger, but yeah. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. I liked Yu Yu Hakusho though, which I think is by the same author, right? I feel like I grew up in like the golden age. What are these? Very interesting. Why are they only here? This is very interesting. These dudes, I haven't seen this monster anywhere else. Sihiraith, I didn't see them anywhere else. They're so strange. I don't think I've ever come up here before. Yeah, they're skeleton heads. That's so interesting. This is the same door as all the others, but it's still a new door, so I'm taking that win. Why are they up here? What are you guys doing? They're all around this tower. And I don't believe that they are related to... They're not. They're not related to campaign, I don't think. Interesting presence of...
It's a
undead.
motherfucking slide.
Hey, Bananatron! Thank you so much for the gift sub to Tom Sutton. I appreciate it. I'm taking a picture of this to put here. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, dude. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting Bogman's research. Okay. I think I've pretty much looked at like all of the Kulu architecture that I can see here. I think there was a floor of Castle Ostroja that I haven't, or Castle Ostroya that I haven't. I think there's a floor of Castle Ostroya I haven't really done yet. But it might be time to look at files. Rye bread? Oh, I love rye bread. Rye bread is the best bread. I don't know what makes it so good, but it just is. Like, I think it just has flavor, and a lot of bread does not have any flavor. All right. We're going back to Juno. Just aromatic? Maybe that's it. It just has like a taste, unlike other bread. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to... And then I don't know. I've been playing since 04. What's up, Jin? How are you today? I've been in this weird seed bread. Oh, I like that too. I also like the texture. It has a nice crumb. It isn't overly soft. Yeah. It's a good one for dipping into soup, which is generally how I judge bread. Is the bread good to dip into soup or not? That's like the #1 most important thing about bread. Okay, the blinking of YouTube is kind of bothering me, so let me